Hi, it's Ali here from Glasgow and Ayrshire Social Events, also known as Culture for the Uncultured, and I'm saying hi from London on a Sunday morning. Now, do forgive, I've already had to shut this video off and start again because there were sirens blaring outside. But if you hear any outside noise, it's just typical of a city centre, isn't it? So we've had a great time in London. We've seen 3 fantastic theatre shows, had a nice brunch, and just had a really quite chilled out time, literally, because the aircon has been amazing. So let's start off Friday night. We went to see The Truth, which is a new Florian Zeller play, and that was starring Stephen Mangan, Janie Dee, Ardal O'Hanlon, and Sarah Hadland. And it was terrific. It was a 90-minute French farce, and it was really, really funny. I didn't see the twists coming, and they just kept coming. So it was really good. Definitely recommend that if you're in London. Yesterday, we went for brunch down at Victoria. We went to the Rail House Cafe, which isn't a cafe. I don't know why they call it a cafe, but I'd been before, so I knew it was a big airy space that we could have a nice brunch in. So it was lovely. I had a Bloody Mary. I had a full veggie breakfast. So that was very good. And then we went for pre-theatre drinks and something I'd never seen before. We went into this pub. I think it was called the Duke of York. Controversial. And they had a digital detox. It was a digital detox pub. So the signs up said no phones, no laptops, just beer and good conversation. Now, of course, I've got my phone in my hand to pay for my drink, and I'm thinking, are they going to be cash only, or what's going on here? I did have like a fiver. I wouldn't buy you a drink in London. So, yeah, it was okay. I think what they really meant was don't talk on your phone, because I saw one guy asking, and they asked him to take his call outside. So I think that's really, don't sit on your laptop all day, don't make phone calls, I think. Nice pub, busy enough. Yeah, it was good. And then we went to see Hamilton for the 10 millionth time. But the reason I came to see it this time was because Leslie Odom Jr., one of the original Broadway cast, was recreating his role as Aaron Burr. And it was the audience were incredible. So before I got onto the show, I added on a cocktail package to the booking for the theatre. So it was £35 for the cocktail package. It was incredibly good value for money in the scheme of things. So you got a cocktail before the show and a cocktail at the interval. Well, first of all, you could fast track the queue, and there's always a big queue at Hamilton to get in. So you could fast track the queue and you get brought straight in by your host, and she was a lovely girl from Falkirk, strangely enough. Well, not strangely enough. She was really nice. She took us upstairs, and we had a reserved bar area for all the people on the cocktail, or the other packages as well. I think there was different types. So you had your own reserved bar. The barman was lovely. You had a private toilet, which is great when there's a sold out show like that. And as we said, we had 2 cocktails, one at the interval and one at the before the show. And they were real cocktails. They weren't like pre-made canned cocktails. They were real cocktails. The guy made them there and then, and they were all Hamilton themed. So my first cocktail I had, I want to be in the room where gin happened. See what they did there? And my second cocktail was a un, dos, tres, cuatro, blah, blah. It was a Negroni, basically. Quite tongue-in-cheek stuff, but the cocktails were nice. They were £12 each if you were to buy them. So that was £24 so far out of the 35. We got a programme each. They're about £8. So you're really paying £4 for your reserved area and private toilet and private bar, which was really worth it because the theatre was mobbed, it was busy, it was hot. So we had this lovely airy place, and as I say, your own little toilet, and it didn't even say toilet on the door. The staff told you where to go. So it wasn't like people were going in and out, so there was no queue. It was brilliant. Then we go to the show. So our seats were great. We were in row B in the Royal Circle, I think they call it, which is the first tier of the circle. And really luckily we had children in front of us, so we had nobody obscuring our view. View of the stage was incredible. And when Leslie Odom Jr. came on to start it, the roar was like a rock concert. The roar was unbelievable. And he had to stop singing and just let it sort of die down a bit. I didn't think it was going to die down. I thought we were going to be here forever because my ears were ringing. It was fantastic though. The atmosphere was excellent. Show was fabulous. All the actors were great. And Leslie Odom Jr., when he did The Room Where It Happened in the second interval, no gin was involved. After the interval, it was amazing. It was really, really amazing. He was incredible. So yeah, 5 stars, no doubt. Then we had to get back to Oxford Circus for the London Palladium. And we decided to get the Victoria Line tube. Now we knew it was going to be, it's always mobbed because Wicked and Hamilton come out at the same time. So it was heaving. We were really lucky because they closed the escalators off. We were on the platform, which was really, really busy. We walked as far down as we could. And we did what what I did when I was a wee girl. When I went to London, my mum and dad, they used to have this plan if you got lost or separated, what to do. So I said to Lara, if we get separated, we'll meet outside Oxford Circus tube station. And we did. We ended up in separate carriages. It was so hot. It was so busy. It was like so crammed. And as I say, they closed the escalators off to hold people back from overcrowding the platform. So we were only 2 stops in 5 minutes. So it was absolutely fine. We got off. We met each other on the platform, and we went a wee wander at Carnaby Street, found a bar that I'd not been in before. That sounds ridiculous, like I've been in every bar in London. But there's one I usually go to near the Palladium, but we went to a different one. I can't remember the name of it. It was a Nicholson's pub, and it was really cool and air conditioned. We had a drink, and then we went to Jesus Christ Superstar. And because it's my favourite ever show, I forked out for the posh seats. So we were in the front row of the Royal Circle. We got a souvenir programme. We had a reserved area for the show, before the show and at the interval, and it was great. And Molly, who was our host, her mum's from Paisley, so Scottish people everywhere. So Jesus Christ Superstar, starring Sam Ryder, was incredible. It's my favourite show, and I'm always a bit worried about going to see it in case it's a poor performance or whatever, but I had no worries at this. So we went in, the first thing we noticed was behind the stage they had what looked like cages, and you can pay £25 to stand there during the show, and you're kind of part of the show. Personally, I wouldn't like to stand for the full show. It's 2 hours, and there was a lot of people, and I think it'd be super hot. Having been up on the stage in Pitlochry, those lights are really strong, and I think it'd been really, really hot. But for 25 quid, if you're willing to do that, also would like to know if they told people what to wear, because most people were wearing black. And I would imagine if somebody was wearing yellow, it would be probably quite distracting for the audience. So I think they must get told what colour, like wear dark colours. So that was quite interesting. The stage was really simple. I'm not going to do any spoilers in case anybody's going to see it. But it was fantastic. Sam Ryder absolutely nailed Gethsemane, which is my favourite song. Tyrone Huntley, who played Judas, was fantastic. And also one of my favourites, David Thaxton, playing Pontius Pilate, was wonderful. And we were close enough that we could see he had like the laurel wreath tattooed around his head. And he also had red hands, which I took to mean that he was responsible for having blood in his hands. Brilliant. And then our Herod was Jesse Tyler Ferguson, who I've only seen before in Modern Family. I didn't know he's big in Broadway. He played Herod, and he was great. He was so camp, funny, one song. And at the end, it was his last night. And at the end, they all lifted him up, and they were all like wanting us to applaud him, and they put the crown of thorns on him at the end. But no, it was tremendous, absolutely tremendous. I did a standing ovation. I'm not a big standing ovation fan, and I also think if you're in the front row, if you stand up, you're blocking everybody else's, but I didn't care. I loved it. Sam Ryder, fantastic. I've got tickets again in Glasgow next year for the tour with them. If you've not got tickets, get them. It's a fantastic performance. And then we went back to the Hotel Bar to watch the England game. And I think the people round about us were more entertaining than the game. Mainly we couldn't really see because these 2 women had booked a table right at the front. And for some reason they talked through the full thing, and they kept moving, like whispering in each other's ears and moving about. So we couldn't really see. But my goodness, the characters you get in a London hotel at that time of night. And there were people coming in that weren't residents, and you couldn't buy a drink. You had to be a resident to be in the bar, and they were trying to get people to buy them drinks and stuff. I don't know why I'm whispering. Anyway, London weekend pretty much wrapped up, just to get the tube to Heathrow and get the plane home. I've had a great time, and I hope everybody else has had a great weekend too. A couple of things to point out while I've got you. Our Wine Wednesday for August, the venue have opened up more spaces. So if you want a lovely night of wine and cheese pairing at Cuvée Princes Square, jump on the website www.glasgowsocialevents.com. And we've also got spaces still for our wine tasting in September at Gilmore's in Paisley, right next to Paisley Gilmore Street Station. So 10 minutes in the train from Glasgow, 1 minute walk from the train station, boom, wine and food pairing or pairing boards. So jump on that as well. Have a smashing Sunday. Speak to you later. Bye.